What's up? I played a Phantom Knights pile deck today at locals. Yeah, there's like a lot of different engines in it, so I'll just give you the profile. 3 torn scales, 3 silent boots, 2 cloak, and then 1 gloves and 1 greaves. Generally accepted ratios for PK. I'm playing 50 cards, so I mean this just works out really well. And then 3 Fogblade, a Wing, and a Brigandine. You kind of need 3 Fogblade. You kind of don't, like 80% of the time. But sometimes it comes in handy, like when you have torn scales, you can just discard the Fogblade for his effect. It's a good discard. And then the Rhoda, just to search the torn scales. That's the whole Phantom Knight engine in the deck. It works really well. PK is awesome. It's a great deck. Then we play the 3 Tour Guide, Seer, and Graph for the 1 card Cherubini plays. The Seer and the Graph, I mean, this is a 1 card Rusty Bardiche. Just normal summon Graph, make Cherubini, and you know, it just goes burr. Good cards, good engine for the deck. Another engine that's in the deck is the Predaplant engine. 3 Ophrah Scorpio, only 1 Cobra, and then an instant fusion. I put this in here just to facilitate Halki Fibrax plays pretty much. And also, I mean, Ophrah Scorpio is a 1 card Cherubini. So you just normal summon him, discard a monster, summon that out, search instant fusion, and then you have instant fusion, so you have access to tuner extra deck fusion monsters. So yeah, this engine is just really good because it gets your main combo rolling, plus you get instant fusion. And we play Psychic and Punisher in the extra deck, so losing 1,000 life points is like nothing. Speaking of losing life points, we play the Punk engine also. 3 Zeoman because I just use it as a normal summon in the deck. I play 50 cards, so I hardly ever see multiples of anything. So I like 3 Almond. It's a good card, and having it as a normal summon is like never the worst thing. Deer Note and Foxy Tune both at 1. I considered playing 2 Foxy Tune just to have like with the other engine just to facilitate needle fiber plays, but I only have 1 and it's really not necessary. And then 3 E-Telly. This is basically a PK card. You just summon out level 3s from the deck, and then it just goes burr. I mean, the whole Punk engine is just kind of insane right now, and Needle Fiber needs to get banned. We also play a small rocket engine, so 1 Tracer, 1 Recharger, 3 Quick Launch, and the Boot Sector launch. The reason we play this is because the Quick Launch is insane. And if you open Quick Launch on top of any sort of like combo that you already have, it's just a free Savage Dragon. It's a tuner. It facilitates needle fiber plays, and overall, it's just kind of a great card. It's just E-Telly but for rockets, so it's like, why wouldn't you like that? And it works out really well in the deck because when you play this many cards, you very rarely draw the Tracer and Boot Sector in them, and when you do, you have 4 other cards in your hand. There's a lot of starters in this deck that get you somewhere. E-Telly, Quick Launch, Torn Scales, Tour Guide, Ophrah Scorpio, and there's some more. So we play the Black and the White Dragon and the 3 Chaos Space. Just for extension purposes, it gives you more access to rank 4s, Savage Dragon, Chaos Ruler. It helps you link climb, like if you get hand trapped, because sometimes if you only open like Torn Scales and you get Ash Blossom, like you're kind of just screwed. So having extra cards in your hand like Chaos Space and Quick Launch is just sometimes it's just really awesome in this deck, and I really love it. Didn't come up today at locals because I never drew it, but it comes up in my testing. It's pretty cool. So we got 1 Terratop and Takatomborg. These are just extenders. Terratop is your full combo by itself. So having these two is really like not that bad. And this one's barely a brick because you have points in your combo where you can special summon it from your hand. And there's also several discard outlets, so it's not really a brick. One wielder. I don't play the tracker because this one's a tuner and it has an effect when it's used for synchro material. And the tracker is just like not necessary because you have so many other things going on. You don't really need that many extenders. And then the one Jackalope and the one Tsuchinoko. I just love these cards. It gives you a little bit, like a tiny bit of draw power, gives you some extension, and I mean if you discard them off Torn Scales, you get to activate their effect because they were discarded. So yeah, only 5 extenders, but like the whole deck is extenders, so it doesn't super matter. These are just ones that help you get your Cherubini combo. The extra deck, this is where it gets a little crazy. It's a little bit tight in the extra deck. We'll start with Synchros. Play the Psychic End Punisher, like I said. This card is insane. If you have less life points than your opponents, it's like unaffected. It's insane. Such a good card, and you can make it really easily in this deck, especially if you open E-Telly. You can just E-Telly, summon out Zayaman, search the Foxy Tune. You can make the Chaos Ruler and then just straight up make this, or you can go for Hulk plays. Like there's a million things you can do based on your hand. So having this card in here is literally never bad. And I don't have a Formula Synchron, but if I had a Formula Synchron, I would also be able to make this on your turn. Savage Dragon, because of the rocket engine. Both of these came up at locals today. Savage Dragon is a really good card, and being able to splash it into this deck is super cool. Because the PK engine naturally kind of just ends on like Appaloosa plus Rusty plus Fogblade. So if you have Quick Launch in your hand, you can just slap 2 negates onto the board. Chaos Ruler, because this deck loves putting their cards in the graveyard. This is probably one of the greatest synchro monsters of all time. Probably one of my favorite cards I've ever played with. And it's just a mad good card. It's crazy how good Chaos Ruler is. It's in everything that can play it at this point. 3 black cards. I've got the Time Thief Redoer, the Break Sword, and the Levier. Typically I would play 2 Break Sword, but I mean there's so much extra resource in the extra and the main that 1 Break Sword is more than enough. And playing the Redoer also allows you to have extra interruptions, because if you ever make the Redoer with the Shade Brigandine, you get spin a card. And then, when the Redoer comes back in the end phase, if you put it in Rusty Bardish's zone, you can pop a card with Rusty. So I was just playing 2 Break Sword, but I decided to put this in there because I always wanted to get use out of both of Rusty's effects. And also this card is just really good because if your opponent breaks your board and then they go end phase, you just summon it back. It's a pretty good card. I love Time Thief Redoer.
Yes, sir.
Instant Fusion target, Ancilla Bolus. It's a level 4 tuner, so it helps facilitate Savage Dragon plays and Chaos Ruler plays and Halki Fibrax plays. It's just honestly super fun to be able to utilize Instant Fusion in a combo deck. So yeah, it's just a really good card. I don't even know what its effect is. It's just a level 4 tuner fusion, so it works for me. And then links, we play 2 4s, Appaloosa and Access Code. These are both mandatory for Phantom Knights. Pretty simple. And then the Unicorn and the Rusty for the Link 3s. Cherubini, and IP and Halki Fibrax are the Link 2s. And then we play the 1 Striker Dragon to help facilitate the Savage Dragon. Side deck is kind of just whatever you want it to be for your locals. I have Lancias, Crows, back row hate, D-Barrier. But yeah, that's the whole deck. There's 50 cards, 15 in the main. I played 0 hand traps in the main deck. I kind of liked it. I kind of didn't. I felt like the deck was more consistent that way because I kept drawing like the good cards like Quick Launch and E-Telly and like Tour Guide and Torn Scales. the more good cards you draw, I feel like the less you need hand traps to back you up, but the deck definitely did struggle going second, so I would consider playing like Droplets, Chalices, Dark Rulers, Regekis, something like that in the mainer side. But yeah, that was the deck. I don't know what to call it. I just been calling it a pile deck. It was super fun. It works really well, surprisingly. It's a great deck.